Here we are.
And we're back.
Episode 12. We couldn't possibly find an hour on a weekend. We're so busy in our life of picking our butt and doing our own electrical. So we make
Dan's on my ass about not doing it every Sunday. Although last time we did it on a Wednesday or something. So
yeah,
he's really the one that screwed up the whole schedule.
No, that was a one-off. I was out of the country. That was a one-off. I mean, but our normal. It doesn't have to be Sunday. Saturday would work fine too. But it's just the week for me can be tough.
Dan's very busy. That's true. I apologize, Dan. He's very busy. Being a corporate landlord Monday through Friday. So. He's making that money, though.
No,
I mean, that's more than I can say for myself.
Code, man. I write code. Nothing to do with landlording.
All right, he's working for TikTok. That's right.
Yeah. Well, I'm working for a company that I'm coding TikTok things.
Are you responsible for all the hot midgets that I keep seeing on TikTok?
No, I'm responsible that if you'd like to buy cosmetics, you can click one button and buy whatever you like.
I think you're much cooler if you were more related to the hot midget content that I keep seeing.
I don't think they like that word. I think midget is frowned upon in the.
You're right. Look at you correcting me.
Yeah. First,
what's going on, Dan? Yeah. What is going on in your world? Dan's got to make this brief, so we're going to move it along.
It's not brief, but not the typical hour. So what's going on in my world is I'm back in the saddle, back to work after the vacation. People won't leave me alone. People are fucking all over me. There's all kinds of shit going on, and I can't escape it.
In your professional life, like work or?
Work, and also the other parts of my professional life, which is the real estate, because I do the real estate mainly kind of on the side for fun, like just it gets me out of the house. It's something to do. I rent properties mostly to friends or people I know, so I'm not one of these fucking vultures who's I gotcha. I'm about to put a banner
one of the
up.
Good ones.
Here's this week's theme. For me, everything becomes my problem. So,
the banner says everything becomes my problem.
This is the story of my life. This is the story of my life. I am a fucking expert in making everyone else's problem my problem. And you're like, well, how your people are like, what do you mean by that? Well, I'll tell you what I mean by that. I'm going to
tell me, Dan.
I'm going to give you just one example, and I have these daily. All right. So it's a really long story, but I have a friend who is a real estate agent who helps us out, and she lists our properties for us and she manages them. She's really, really nice. She's a nice girl in her 30s. I consider her to be a friend, right?
Okay.
So 2 years ago, we were renting her a house, right? And she's like, I really love this house. I'd love to buy it. But she says, but I can't qualify for a mortgage. I said, I'll tell you what. Here's what I'll do for you. We will do a owner financing loan, which means we basically title the property to her. She then owns it, and she pays us. But instead of paying us rent, it's a mortgage, right?
Yeah.
But I said to her, this was 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago, I can only do this for a couple of years. You're going to have to find a way to either refinance the house with a real bank or sell the house in a couple of years. But I said I can do 3 years. So we did it's called a 3-year balloon. I mean, she has 3 years to either refinance it or sell the house.
And at the end of the 3 years, that becomes her problem, not your problem.
Well, no, it's still my problem because I'm not going to foreclose on her. I mean, I'm not going to do that. So what it would be is if she did that to me, she wouldn't do this. But if she did that, if she waited till the bitter end, which is December of this year, and said, I'm not doing anything, then I'm in a pickle. I can foreclose, but I don't want to do that. She's not going to do that. She's a friend. She's not going to do that.
Okay.
Anyway,
okay.
So we sold the house to her very cheap. Just to give you an idea, I think we sold it to her for like $145 at the time. At the time,
that is cheap. I don't even know. You need to know the type of house. $140. That is crazy. That's crazy.
No, it's on an acre. It's a nice property, and right now, it's probably worth $250. So that's the good news. The good news is she's sitting on a lot of money. Everything's cool. So here's what happened. Listen to what happened.
Tell me, brother.
About a year ago, she was about ready to refinance it. She had gotten approved for a bank. We were ready. We were cooking, right? And then she decides about 2 weeks before the appraisal that she's going to do some repairs to the house. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This house is on piers. It's not on a slab. Down here, almost everything's on a slab, but this one's on piers. It's on like wood piers, which is,
Sure.
not that weird.
Yeah, I know those.
And so what she decided she was going to do was level the house, which is normally not a huge deal. They basically jack the house up and they level it. They make the piers even to where the house, it's not tilting one way or the other.
Sure.
So this particular house was probably built by some drunk guy in the 50s, right? When she went to do this, when she did this, the house literally fell down. Like you're talking uninhabitable situation. Okay?
Oh, shit.
And it was just bad luck. She was kind of dumb to do it.
She should have just left well enough alone with the house.
She could have left well enough alone, or she could have waited until after the refinance was done to do this, right? But she didn't.
Or sell it and make it someone else's problem.
The problem is, once that was done, it's uninhabitable. You can't get a mortgage. The banks would be like, I'm not giving you a mortgage. So she was fucked. Okay. So now she's got to raise all this money to fix the house, because you can't, if she doesn't fix the house, then it goes from being worth 250 to being worth maybe less than what she owes on it. Right. Because it's uninhabitable. So Bruce, this has been a saga that has gone on for a year, and it's just every time she fixes one thing, 3 other things break. The girl has
bro, it sounds like you're being too nice to her. Like, dude, this is why everything becomes your problem, because you gotta set down some hard boundaries.
Just wait. Well, no,
bro.
No, just wait. So,
all right.
So look, I could have been a dick and said, the problem is now she can't pay the mortgage either, because she's had to shell out all this money for the house. So no mortgage is being paid. We're not being paid. And at the end of the year, it's over. But I'm not going to foreclose on her. So she says to me, okay, it's clear that I'm never going to be able to refinance this after this fiasco, because I'm going to have to, she had to take out loans. She had to go to all kinds of shit, dude. Like loan sharking stuff.
I don't like this.
But she agrees now she's going to sell the house. Now, once she agrees she's going to sell it, the problem is solved, because this house will sell and then I'll get paid off and everything's done. Right. So, so she gets to a point where she can list the house around Christmas. Okay. So already it's like, oh, fuck. And then she does the worst thing you can do, which is she priced it too high. Okay. Now look, at the time, I get it. There's really not much to buy.
He's trying to sell it after the leveling of the piers fiasco?
Oh, everything has been repaired. She spent a year shelling out $1 zillion to repair it. The house is
so the house is now level. That whole thing is done.
Yeah, it's new. Not only is it level, it's got new electrical, new plumbing, new roof. It's golden. Okay.
But she paid out the nose, and she'll never recoup all this shit.
No, she will, because the house is worth $250. She owes one.
What's she listed for? 400? She got greedy?
No. So I get it. There was a house down the street that sold for 300. That was a 3.2 and similar on an acre. Her house is only a 1 bathroom. But I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Give it a shot. See what happens. Sure enough, doesn't sell.
What's she listed as? Tell me.
315, I think.
Yeah, that's.
So anyway, not crazy. You got to realize there's really nothing here to buy that's on land. This is on an acre. So there's nothing. This is a situation where you're either going to buy this house or you're not going to buy anything. It's not like there's competition. There's nothing. So she priced it too high, and it's the holidays. And so the holidays fuck her over. And then she keeps dropping it. Drop. She now has it at 275. Okay.
Right.
This thing is a 250 house. It'll sell for 250. No problem. But she wanted to try to get more money. It's her house. Like, I'm not going to tell her no. Right.
So what's the issue?
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Bad luck. I told you she has bad luck. She accidentally ran into her water conditioning equipment. Okay. Now, and destroyed it. So normally that's not a huge deal. It's like a softener. So who cares?
Yeah, right? I'm aware of the hard water situation.
Lo and behold, we find out she has a well. Lo and behold, we find out the well has E. coli and severe sulfur issues. Oh. So she hasn't turned the water back onto the house because it runs like brown.
Oh, did it run brown? Hold on. Did it run brown after she ran into it?
Yeah. Yeah, she destroyed the stuff.
So it definitely did something when she ran into it.
Yeah, you have. So if you have a well with those issues, it happens. It's no big deal. You just get equipment that will fix the water, right? That will condition the water. It's expensive.
Yeah, but not when you have E. coli down there.
No. They have stuff that'll. Yeah, it's a chlorinator. No problem. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not that uncommon, Bruce. Not that uncommon. So you just have to have the right equipment. But you're talking $7,500. She doesn't have 75 cents right now. So she says, you know what? We'll just put it on the market and we'll just we'll tell him we'll fix it later, or we'll give him a credit.
What?
So I say to her, hold on. Normally that's fine. Let's say you have an AC that's ready to go, ready to die. If the buyer sees the AC is ready to die, all you got to do is say, I will give you a credit towards a new AC. And they're like,
you disclose that information and make a situation.
Right. But with water with E. coli in it, a buyer doesn't care if you'll fix it. They're going to walk, right? Even if you say, no, I will fix it. I will put a conditioning system in after we close. With E. coli, people are going to get scared.
Well,
right?
Of course, Dan, it's the word E. coli. I'm not buying, right?
So I say to her, you can't leave it like this, because you're going to someone's going to agree to buy it. But then when they inspect it, they're going to see the water's brown and they're going to walk, even though you say you'll fix it. You have to fix this now. You have to put in a system now, because if you put in a system and they run the water, it'll run fine and no one will know there's a problem, right?
Yeah.
So, but the problem is the system is $7,500. So guess whose problem that is now?
Your problem, because everything becomes your problem.
If it will not, because right now, as it stands, look, if she's lucky and she gets a buyer like me, and I know that it's no big deal, and if you say to me, Dan, the water has E. coli, but we're going to put in a system, I'd say, okay, cool, and I'd be happy. But most buyers will not do that. They will say, no.
It sounds like you're being too nice too many times, and it's like they keep racking up, like the peer, the peer situation.
I know.
I don't care. I don't care that it's her fault. Now that becomes your problem. Look at you. You're upset.
But Bruce, if it doesn't sell, if she left this problem and she had buyers come and walk, and it doesn't sell, she can't pay the mortgage. I'm already not getting paid on the mortgage, right? I need this house to sell yesterday, right? So my brain is like, well, look, I will pay for. No, I'm going to get paid back in the end. The good news there's only one piece of good news with this. She only owes me like $160. This house is worth easy $250. Easy, if you price it right. Easy. There's nothing to buy here for that.
Look, I see the situation. It's pretty long and sordid tale, but I mean, after you fix this, you got to stop. I mean, it has become your problem, and of course, it's not your fault, but it's definitely a series of events that are just.
Bruce, what would you do if you needed to? Someone else owns a home that you need to sell because they owe you a whole lot of money, and you know that when it sells, you're going to get paid. If they say to you, well, there's this problem and the house won't sell till we fix it.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because there's no real way out of it. It's not like I could say, Dan, you should have done this, you should have done that. No one can. I mean, first off, I don't have the knowledge that what goes into this field for sure. But I will say in a general, after hearing that whole story, time to stop being friends with this chick. No. I'll tell you offline. There's other mitigating factors.
Okay. You would help her too. She's very nice. She has had fucking awful luck in her life. And look, she ran into the system. It was an accident. Like, granted, it's kind of her fault.
But here's my thing, Dan. Here in the story, there's two. Okay. It's one thing to make a mistake and to be, problem and just, okay, I get it, bad luck or problem. But it's like level the house when you shouldn't have leveled the house, number one. Then you run into the fucking thing, number two.
No, she could have done that. She should have waited until after she refinanced. That's all.
I'm saying just from a third party, just listening to the whole story, it just sounds a lot to me like, of course, I don't know the relationship and what's going on, but it just sounds like, I have a way shorter. I don't know, man. I could be more mean. I guess, Dan, you're kind. You're more kind than me. I don't know.
I mean, no, it's partially that I'm nice, but also I have an interest in this. I need this house to sell.
Okay, but let me ask you this. Maybe if you go all the way to the beginning of the situation, the very beginning deal of like, okay, I'll let you live here. You could do this for 2-3 years. But that's the beginning of the whole problem. Because always, in a general sense, and you know this as well as I do, when you mix friendships with business, rarely does it work out good. Rarely.
No, I'm not mad at her at all. She has had. I would be the first one to tell you if she fucked up somewhere.
You would.
This is a whole lot of bad luck. It's
just one of these things that doesn't have a good, clear answer.
I would have liked to see her price it lower when she listed it, but she listed it on Christmas, so it probably wouldn't have mattered. And she's now, I said to her, here, I did say this, you'll like this. When I told her I would do the water thing, I said, if I do this, you have got to drop the price of the house to $250.
Now that's what I'm going to say. If you
Once
agree
you
to fix
drop-
the brown water,
Yeah.
it's time to make a new deal. Like, okay, listen, honey, I'm going to fix this water $75K. You don't have it, I do. I'm going to fix this, but from now on, we're doing it Dan's way. Your way,
Well,
not working out.
She has to sign off on the contract, but at this point, she doesn't want this to go either. Look, even given all the bullshit that's happened, she's going to walk away with $80,000 or $90,000, right? The mistake she made, and you're not in real estate, so you don't know this, but
I don't know anything about her.
The price that you set a home at is critical, because you might say, all right, my home's, I think, worth 260, right? But here's the problem. People who are looking for houses usually have a price number in their head, like a maximum number.
Yeah, and that number's going to scare people off right off the bat.
No. But that number they're looking for tends to be kind of an even number. 100, 150, 200, 250. Okay. So in this particular market, 250 is like a major price point, right? So she listed it initially at 3 something. Now it's at 275. The minute she drops that to like 249.9, right? She'll get a lot more interest because a lot more people will see it. Right now, people don't see it because they set up automated searches that say, show me anything new that comes under.
I mean, in general, if you agree to bail her out with this 75K, there definitely needs to be some sort of conversation. Like
7,500. Not 75.
Okay. Well, then definitely, look, we're going to do things my way.
She's not arguing. Believe me, if she got an offer for this house for 250, that was a good offer, and she's like, sorry, I would be fucking pissed. But
so that's everything becomes my problem.
This house sitting and not selling is not helping her either. It's not just me she's got to pay off. She needs this money. And so the quicker this sells, the better. And
but you need that money. What do you mean she needs that money?
Well,
you need that money.
She only owes me like 160. She's gonna
only 160K.
No. My point is, there's going to be an additional 90 grand that she's going to get because she's going to sell it for 250.
I don't know. I think when you talk to me about this problem, like, I get that everything becomes your problem, but it's so out of my realm and my world. I'm an artist making paintings and selling them for $200. No,
but you understand. You understand, Bruce. Let's say you owe someone a certain amount of money for something, but if you sell that for more than you owe, right? I'm going to sell you my diabetes water bottle, right?
Okay.
Here, Bruce, you're going to owe me $10 for this. And you say, okay. And then you turn around, put it on eBay and sell it for 20. Guess what? You pay me back the 10, but then you get $10 too.
Sure.
You following me?
Yeah.
So she owes 160 on the house, but it's worth 250. She's going to get that extra money.
All right. I mean,
so she wants this to sell. It's not like she's like, oh, I don't care. She cares.
No, I know. She
was just trying to do as well as she can do. And it was a bad time of year and all kinds of reasons. So once she drops it, which she said she would, I said, as soon as we do this water work, which is tomorrow, you got to drop it to 250. And she said she will. And she said, if she gets an offer around 250, she will sell it. And so that's all I ask, because there's plenty of money.
We'll see about this.
No. I need good vibes, man. You can't do the we'll see about this. You got to give me the good.
All right, hold on. Vibes. All right, okay. Look at me. Okay. I look like a guy that can give you some good vibes right now.
You do, yeah.
Dan, she's going to sell it. This is how you manifest, by the way. You grab things out of the universe. Right. Yeah, dude, I'm all about it.
We need a buyer who's not a pain in the ass, who's going to pay $250.
No. It's not we need. We're going to get.
We're going to get a buyer.
You think of it as if it already happened, Dan.
Who pays $250, who's not a pain in the ass.
You're going to find somebody who's not a pain in the ass. This is going to happen next week.
The good news is, if you're looking for a place on an acre right now around that area, you're either going to buy this house or you're going to buy a mobile home. That is all.
An acre is a lot of land. That's a lot. That's a large chunk.
I have 4. I'm about to have 10. So yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah, I like land. I like land, man. I don't want people.
Well, what else is going on?
Anyway, I'm sorry. I had to go off on that.
That's like a whole that was you know what that was like? That was like Roe trying to explain my financials to me. and me really not understanding it too much. I'm not the brightest. I'm not the brightest tool in the shed, Dan.
I have one more thing I think you will relate to. Okay, so hold on. I'm going to present. Ready? Watch this.
Oh God, he's setting up another crawl. By the way, I don't know what he's getting at. There's all these things that hits me. Google. He's setting up a Google page.
All right, do you see this?
He's looking at guitars. Okay, on Google.
This guitar, I just sold it. Okay.
You sold a guitar on Google or on what?
No,
what
Reverb? It's a thing you sell instruments on, right? So
okay, it's like an eBay for music. Okay, he sold this guitar, Dan. Okay,
right. So I haven't been playing as much, and quite frankly, I need the money right now with all the money going out. I'm like, and this is my
you got brown water to fix.
This is my most expensive guitar, and so no, I listed this before the brown water because I'm like, you know what? I don't play enough. Anyway, you're gonna appreciate this. So I did sell it, but prior to it selling, I would get some schmuck emailing me from that site about every other day with a question, a specific question, like, what is the exact weight of the guitar? Or
okay, so whenever you sell something online, it's maddening with the questions.
Well, no,
on any
fine.
format.
It's an expensive guitar. The weight was listed on the listing, but we would have people would email me questions like, "Hey, can you tell me, does it have the gold side?"
But that information is on. That information is
some
all
of it is.
On
well,
the
there was a couple
listing.
things I didn't because there's aficionados of this particular brand, and I'm not.
Right,
and they're like, "Does it have the brass side dots? And does it have this? And does it have that?" And so I'm like, "Well, I want to sell it, so I'm going to go. I take it."
I know, but it's annoying. I know exactly. I've done this.
But what drives me nuts is these people have no intention of buying. They're just interested in it. They want to know. Hey, because there's only 100 of these made. This particular one. Yeah. And so the people who are interested in this brand, they want to know, like, okay, what was this different than the other ones? What's the serial number? Like all kinds of shit.
Back an old school term is called they're kicking tires. A lot of kicking tires.
If you're not going to buy it, leave me alone. Not going to buy it.
Just like to ask questions.
No intention. Now look, the last time a guy did this, he asked me the weight. I was ready to tell him to fuck off. He bought it. Like, oh, so I'm happy.
So that alone gives you pause. I get it.
So I sold it. But prior to that, it was nonstop time wasting. Nonstop. Just can you weigh the guitar? Can you measure the thickness of the
Here's
neck?
Here's the deal. Now I relate to this so much more than the house story.
I figured.
Because I've sold things online and this gets my ire up so much. I make these listings. I sold all my punk rock t-shirts, like they're worth a couple $100 a piece for an old ratty t-shirt. And I take 1 million photos. I take the photos with the ruler next to it so you can see how long it is.
Yeah, you want to anticipate every fucking
dumb question I anticipate. Yeah. And so, but they still ask me the same dumb question. I go, can you just go back to the listing, look at the photos, whatever. So I do all this, and you got to be nice because then you get a bad rating on eBay and you become, it hits you, right? So you got to be nice to these fucking people. I have thought about implementing a system where you can say this t-shirt is $300 but then it goes up by $5 for every question you ask where the information is in the listing. Now, I haven't implemented that yet, but I have floated that idea to other people that I know who sell on eBay, and they're like, Bruce, that's fucking genius. In fact, eBay or another site should have incorporated that into their platform because that alone, it makes people like, I stopped selling on eBay the last couple of months just because it was just so annoying. Exactly what you're talking about.
Well, no, I won't. No. I don't do that. This is a site called Reverb. It's specifically for musicians. It's specifically instruments. Everything is very specifically catered to that. So you have to choose. You have to choose like a condition. Excellent, very good,
but
fair.
It's still the same thing where you're selling online and people are going to ask dumbass questions. Dumbass questions.
You know what I've learned is to underrate everything because when I first got on here and I would sell a guitar, I would look over the guitar, be like, wow, this is in great shape. I'll put excellent. And then the guy who bought it would find some tiny thing that I didn't notice.
No.
Like, my luthier says it's going to cost $85 to fix that.
No, and that is maddening to do. I would rather just not have any money than deal with that kind of. No. I really don't care. So not only that, Dan, like, underrated, like you said, you know what I mean? Like, definitely call it, if it's in great condition, call it fair condition, so you don't have to deal with that. Right. And that's what I do. And another thing is, if I'm selling a t-shirt, an old punk rock t-shirt, and it's got like pilling or like a pit stain or something like that, I take close-up photos of that. I'm like, hey, notice this is the flaw. This is the flaw. I'm telling you right up, because I don't want to hear about any of this afterwards. Like, I had to deal with like, oh, you know, you sent me a record and it broke, or the mug, blah, you got to like, it becomes not worth it. Especially, I'm sure you sold the guitar for a lot of money. I was selling mugs that I fucking got at a thrift shop for $20.
No. And I would never in a million years try to sell anything. Unless, if we're talking about a good amount of money, like at least, let's say $700, $500, I'll do it. But if we're talking $40, I'll throw it away. I'm not dealing with people.
I'm scared. I'm scared of selling things online for, and I've done it for hundreds of dollars. I'm petrified that, you know, the buyer's going to pull some shit out of it, because all these platforms are set up, by the way, whether it's Reverb, whether it's eBay, they're set up to favor the buyer. That's just how it is.
Yeah,
they're not set up to favor the guy who's selling it.
Yeah,
because
but
if the buyer complains,
that's why you got to underrate everything. You got to take the close-up photos. And ever since that first guy bitched at me about, well, my luthier said it's going to cost $80, from then on, I always underrate. Always.
And you're smart for doing that. And I noticed there's certain things, certain subgroups that are problematic. Musician guys, guitars, okay, they're problematic. Comic book guys, there's a bit of a dog ear on, all right? And even worse, the worst guys of them all, vinyl guys. Fucking guys that buy. You don't even want to deal with it. I don't even want to deal with it. So what else is going on in your world?
It's different, though. Normally I wouldn't bother, but like, I don't want to have all these guitars in my house. Like, I like having about 6 or 7, right? And once and slowly over time, I'll collect. I'm like, and then I'll say to myself, do I really need all these? I don't, because I normally pay acoustic now more than anything. So like that, and it's like, these are nice. Someone should enjoy them because I don't play them enough. So, anyway. But yeah, yeah. So I need to hear. So I hear you have a subject, and I'm going to put it up. It says,
well, okay, that is not a sentence.
I like being fugly.
No. I texted Dan, I'm glad I'm not good looking. And he wrote, I like being fugly. Not the same fucking thing, by the way. But okay.
Hold on.
Are you going to fix it? I'm glad. The sentence is, I'm glad I'm not good looking. I like being semi-fugly. All right. Dan's just fucking with me now. He's still salty that I made him that I called out on Sunday. He's pissed about it.
All right.
So anyway,
but I agree with you on the sentiment. I know where you're going with this.
Here's what I'm going with this, because I was having a discussion with Ro about it, and I know too. So I'm on social media a lot. I'm on TikTok a lot, and we like following these like nomad land life people, these van life people, these people that are gonna live permanently in trailers and just go around the United States. There's a huge movement going on right now because of the economic situation in the United States. And so, but there is a lot of good things to it. Like, oh, this looks like fun. So we're going to do this, but we're researching all these channels. And I like the channels where it's like an old guy like me, or like sort of an old single woman who's just, you know, normal looking. Then, of course, you come across a channel with a massive ratings. It's like a really good looking couple, like 28 years old, super good looking. The videos are slick, tons of ratings, tons of viewers. Fucking the music behind it, do. Come with me as I get ready to go thrift, you know, whatever. And they're like, you can't, you know what? And they're too good looking. So I decided that, like, I started thinking about this more in the shower. I'm like, I'm glad I'm not too good looking. I'm glad I'm not good looking in this day and age, because I'm watching these videos and I can't take these fucking people. What
have we said about ourselves? We like flying under the radar.
I like flying under the radar, but other than that, I could take a dude, if you're talking about a topic, any topic, like, I don't know, fixing a car or living in a van or something like that, that doesn't have to do with appearance. I'm going to take an average looking, normal looking person way better than someone that's too good looking. Like, for some reason, Dan, and I know that's judgment, that's being judgy, I can't take a person that's too good looking that fucking seriously. Like, I just think they just have had it too good in life. Is this a bad take?
I'm there. I mean, I can take them seriously. I'm just mostly jealous of them, because you and I both know that their lives have been way easier than ours were.
Yeah, but I'm not. I'm trying to get. All right. In my path of self-improvement, I'm trying to get over the jealousy thing. But it definitely
is it really better to not take them seriously? I mean,
I know that's the thing, right? Maybe that's just still negative as fuck. But I just.
I got a
I'm
couple
just
of
being
buddies.
honest.
I got a couple of buddies from college, or one in particular I'm thinking of, who we used to call him the golden child.
Yeah.
He was just the ladies loved him. Not only is he good looking, he's funny, great personality, fun guy. You can't dislike him. You can't. And like, but I take him
See,
seriously.
but that's annoying. I think that's annoying.
Yeah,
If he's really, really good looking and he's got a great personality and you can't even find anything that's wrong with him, I'm sort of like, dude, are you a serial killer? Like, what is going on?
He can be a little bit of a flake. I mean, but everyone has something. No one's perfect.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Everybody's got something, right?
I guess everyone's take on it. I guess I agree in principle, but I think that I guess this is the one negative about being really good looking is that people might be less apt to take you seriously. Probably more so for women.
Yeah,
probably more so
for sure. But no, but with the advent of social media and so the amount of
I have a coworker who is exactly what you described. Exactly. Yeah. She's super nice. This girl's awesome. I am not shitting on her, but she's got a TikTok account with her boyfriend. They're both good looking.
And she's got tons of followers.
They had something go viral. She sent it to me, and it's just what you said. It's like
just vapid.
It's like and it's again. I'm not talking shit because I really, really like this girl. She's awesome.
I know.
We get along great. And I'm looking at this, and all I thought to myself, this is just a generational difference. Like she's 27 and I'm 50. So I'm like, I cannot imagine getting on camera and doing this, but like I'm old. But
it's definitely like a social media thing too. Like when you look at, we're trying to follow these different content creators who are fixing up their vehicles so that you can do this. And there's like a lot of like sort of technical information, like how do you get the fridge going? How do you get the solar going? Blah, blah, blah. And when a guy's kind of like an old, grizzled 60-year-old guy with a beer gut, for some reason, I'm paying attention to this guy. I'm like, this guy knows what he's talking about.
I think.
But when it's like a 20-something with, by the way, let me finish. It's like a 20-something hot couple with generational wealth with one of these like really, really nice brand new things. And the music is pumping in the background. I'm like, I'm not going to take my advice from this person. And they might, you know what? Honestly, that's a judge a book by the cover type of thing, which is wrong. I know it. But it's just this thing that happens in my head. It's like, and we're going to talk about this later when we interview some really good looking people. We're going to interview some really good looking people and find out what that's like. Because
let me ask you this.
What's that?
What if it's a video about a topic that you don't know anything about? Like you're talking about topics that you're very interested in that you probably followed. Let's say you're watching a video about something you don't know anything about. Are you less likely to take the good-looking people seriously, or is it
absolutely? If it's a topic I don't know anything about, it's gonna be more of an even playing field. But
okay, so now I relate. So if someone's talking, if someone did a video about
real estate,
Iron Maiden's new record,
right?
Or Black Sabbath, which era was the best? Or do you prefer single coils to humbuckers? Or,
something about this topic
I'm passionate about.
Yeah,
that I know a lot about. I will agree with you. I'm going to gravitate towards the older, ugly person.
Yeah, and see that's the thing, Rowan. I'm glad you said that because Rowan and I we could make videos like this. We've done this, like we know a lot about it. We're just trying to increase our knowledge on it by the more people we watch. And so not only are they like super good looking and talking about stuff, you're in the back of your head going, well, that's wrong. That's not going to work out. Like you don't hook up that's not the right, so definitely. And you're the music, dun, 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 come get ready with me. And it's like, oh my God, this is like, I want the old grizzled guy who is just, or like, I like these old women that are, I don't know.
These are topics, you're familiar with, or you're passionate about. And it's harder to take a younger, good-looking person as seriously as an older person who's got a beer belly.
But then again, I think like, what if? Because I know some people, like you talk about the golden boy. Like I know some people that are extremely good-looking, and that have great personalities, are actually kind, good people through and through, and good for them and all like that. And I'm glad they exist and stuff. But at the same time, I sort of like the negative part of my head is just kind of like, then what's fucking wrong with you? Because like God distributes these gifts in different ways, right? Like, and I always think that there's pros and cons to everybody, and
there is always something. Always.
So like if it's very, very suspect if someone is extremely good looking, very, very good personality, nothing to dislike about them, and you're like, what's the fucking thing? Are you a serial killer? Like, what's your thing? Like, I'm very suspect about it.
That is
And maybe
absolutely
that's
correct.
mentally unhealthy.
There is
Dan,
no,
is that mentally unhealthy?
No,
You could be real with me.
because it's completely fair to say, wow, I really admire these traits from this person, but everyone has some weakness. I wonder what theirs is. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah, because you have weaknesses. I have weaknesses. So
I have many. I have too many flaws.
I've met a handful of people in my life. I've never met anyone who had no weaknesses, but I have met people with no strengths. I have. It's rare.
That's true,
but
right?
I
You
have
find some
met
people that don't.
I have met people who are not good looking, not
man.
smart, not funny, not kind. Like, you struggle to, like, my sister. My sister is a good example of like the counterbalance. She's got a severe spectrum disorder, and she's got all kinds of problems. Like, she just was dealt a bad hand, but she's extremely kind and honest and generous. And so, like, but when you meet somebody who has nothing, I mean, not a redeeming quality. They're not all that smart. They're not all that good looking. They're not all that nice. They're not generous. They're not funny. They don't have a sense of humor. I'm not going to share any names, but I have a couple of these people in my life. It's fascinating to me. And with this, I do the same thing though. I say, there's got to be something good. There has to be.
What's the matter?
What is it?
And I don't know about you, but like the thing about, there's all these different qualities. Sense of humor is a lot for me. Like,
huge.
If somebody doesn't have a sense of humor, I'm like astounded. I'm like, wow.
I would take that over anything else.
Oh, 100%.
You can just flip shit with me. I don't care what you look like. I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're smart or dumb. I don't care what your walk of life. I don't care about any of that.
That's why me and Dan get along so well. I mean, right? We're kind of different people, but the sense of humor thing.
No sense of humor is super tough, and
if you can't make fun of yourself, that's even another level. If you can't even make fun of yourself and be like super realistic about that, then if you take yourself too seriously,
the people I'm talking about, they look at guys like you and me who say all kinds of off-color things and make jokes and stuff. They equate that to being a bad person. Like, they think that if you joke about X, Y, or Z, you're a bad person. Meanwhile, like, my whole thing in life is there's what you say and there's what you do, right? And if all you're doing is saying silly shit, you're not doing bad shit, you're not a bad person, right? And I'm always very suspicious of anyone like that, because I think that they're probably doing bad shit. That's what I think.
Yeah, I watch too many serial killer documentaries, and I'm always like, okay,
Ted was like the nicest guy ever. Ted Bundy.
The nicest guy. I was going to bring up his name. I mean, super nice guy. You
wouldn't have made the kind of jokes I make. No. Super friendly and but yeah, it's the people with no redeeming qualities I find fascinating. I've not met anyone yet with no weaknesses. Everyone's got weaknesses. I know several people who are just great on so many ways, but then they got that one big drawback that you can fuck with them about.
I want to talk about one more quick thing that just came up to me before we go. I follow another person, a lot of like DJs, on social media and stuff. And, the DJ world is pretty big these days. There's lots of video and content of them. They're playing, the crowd's going nuts. They're doing this to the music. A lot of the modern DJ thing these days is in electric dance music, is they just, they're doing their thing, and they have to be kind of a performer, right? And hype up the crowd. It's a lot of fist pumping, a lot of this kind of movement, right? The music comes up and then bam, and the drop hits, and they're like, there's a lot of this. There's a DJ that I follow has no sense of rhythm. And when they do this, it doesn't match up with the music.
Yeah, but how can you have that job with no sense of rhythm?
That's what I'm fascinated. And I'm not going to name them. I'll tell you in private, but it is just like,
that'd be like me saying I'm not very good with computers. Or you saying that'd be like me saying I'm not really good with computers, or you saying I'm not really good with like colors and fucking.
Dude, I mean, that's why I'm fascinated, because like, okay, she's a good DJ. The music plays, the segues are good. Everything's good. But quite frankly, technology can do a lot. Technology can match the beats now. You don't really have to do that anymore.
No.
But anyway, but like the performance is fine. But then like it's like, here's the beat. Doom, 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 and it doesn't match up. And I kept on rewinding the video. I'm like, what is going on? And it seems like they're struggling too. It's like doom, 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 doom. I'm like, oh my God. And they do fine. They're popular, but I just can't. If the person, no, if you gotta move the hand with the beat. It's very simple. Doom, 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 doom. I want to see that.
So here's my question though. What annoys you more, that or need gone? For sell, need gone.
I've learned. Okay, so Dan's talking about how we have problems. We have problems when people use the wrong terminology when they're selling things. Like if they're selling something, they're like need gone or for sell. I have now, and it still irritates me. But Dan, I've been working on myself, and I realize now you're.
All right.
But I was just going to say that whole thing might be some.
I was in suspense. You said I'm going to be surprised. So go ahead.
Well, I just think, I mean, look, I used to make fun. I used to be a total grammar Nazi. Absolutely. Anyone that would make, not use the proper grammar, not use the proper words, make endless fun of them. But it might be, in some cases, a privilege thing. Like maybe they didn't get the proper education. Maybe they went to a public school. I mean, Lord knows our public school systems are shit. Maybe it really wasn't done that way. So let me just say I've toned down my grammar Nazi, like I'm goose stepping a lot less when it comes to
those things that was so worse than the grammar Nazi. It's just how they would be sitting on some piece of shit, something, and they would think it's gold. And they're trying to sell you something that's 3 years old for like it's brand new.
That I'm still relentless. I've had to unfollow a bunch of selling pages because like I love it when they try to sell something like here's a fridge, it's 3 years old, I bought it, it's still fine, the light went off though, and they put a picture of it new from Sears or whatever the fuck, new from Walmart of the picture and not the picture of the actual item. They're like, no, you've had this for 3 years, and then they bought it for $300, they want to sell it for $275. I'm like, you're out of your fucking mind. The rule is if you've had it and you're selling it, you just chop it in half basically, and then you start from there. You're lucky. All
right, we're gonna wrap a little short one this week.
Wrap it up.
We'll be back to our normal schedule next Sunday, hopefully.
Dan, okay, so I'm glad and I'm educated to hear about your problem, how everything's your problem.
When we're off the air, I will share some of the details, and you will understand.
Okay, but just like in general, set some healthy boundaries for yourself.
I try.
Healthy boundaries, bro.
I just feel like a lot of it is out of my control, but some is not. You're correct.
From the get-go, make it, you're trying to be a kind person. And I get it, everyone says that you're not kind, but I know that you are.
I don't want people to think I'm kind, for sure.
Okay, let's get back to being the bad guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a douche. Yeah. All right, so that is Heeb and Goy for
you know
this
what?
week.
Next week, coming at you live from East Jesus. In the background, there's going to be the open desert and just stuff. And I'm going to be out there for the next 3 weeks.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Heeb and Goy.